This is my worst PSA submission ever. I think there's 2 10s out of like 35 cards, 36 cards. I've never got such a low 10 rate on like kind of non-holo or pack fresh kind of cards. So we are going to look at it, and I'm going to look at every single card individually. And let's try to figure out what I did wrong. I mean, I'm not disputing the grades. I don't think the grades are wrong, to be honest. I think I actually just messed up and just sent really bad condition cards, and PSA punished me for it. I did not check them as hard as I should have, not check them as hard as I usually would. So this is going to be quite a long video, so, stay locked in, I guess. Let's try and learn together. So we got this PSA 8 Weeping Bell, a little bit of edge on the left corner if you move it in this perfect light. Tiny bit of edge on the right. Tiny bit of top right. So yeah, that is it's a little bit off-centered. So I think this is probably grounds for an 8, to be honest. I think that's very fair. I'm going to put that's a fair grade pile on here, and that's a not fair grade pile on like the left. Let's see how much I can complain and whine. So the main reason why I break my submissions up into so many different things is because you want to try and remove as much variance as possible. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I don't think some graders at PSA grade differently to others. So it's kind of a good thing to get as many opinions as possible. But at the end of the day, you can't game the system in any way you want. There's no way like you could send 100 cards to one day and then the next day you send them 100 and you might get a few different grades. It's just, you'll never be able to game the system. But as much as I can, I try to play a little bit safe and just send 30 to 100 cards at most, so I don't have like 500 cards going at once. So this is a 6 war total, and it seems to me my light is telling me that there's like a bend around this area. Not this white stain, but there's a bend. You can kind of see it with the way the light reflects, so that's unfortunate. It's very hard to tell, but there is a crease on this card, and it is like right there. So 6, that's perfectly justified. Now we have the Rocket Gang Dark Eradicate, PSA 9. So we've got a bit of edge at the top right. Tiny bit of wear cutting on the bottom left, sorry. Got the Field Worker from Mirage Forest. Oh, look at this Mew in the top left there. So cute. Bit of edge at the top. Bit of edge at the left. Now, I will admit, I do send some cards that are pretty risky. Like, I don't need to get every card to be a 10. So, I do send cards that have a little bit of issues here and there. Just so you kind of get lucky sometimes and you chance the 10. Oh, my finger's so gross. What's going on there? So, a bit of edge at the top there. Perfectly justified. I do try to send cards that are a little bit risky sometimes because sometimes you can get a 10 on a card that has a little bit of edge wear. Okay, this card's just fucking destroyed. Big dent there. I don't think that was me, to be honest. I would probably not send a card like that in. But this is from a constructed deck, so it actually might be. Judging by the rest of the cards that came in my constructed deck and I graded. Same sort of issues. This is just like a light play Ditto Pikachu. Pretty cool to get in a 6. I'm just going to grade this card every time I get him because it's awesome. But what was I saying? Damn, I can't even remember what I was saying now. I'm always going on tangents. PSA 9. Bit edge at the top. Pretty justified. These have edge wear straight out of the pack. So yeah, what was I saying? Wow, my brain is just gone. Okay, did I actually grade this card? It's so damaged all the way through. Wow. Yeah, I mean, I deserve a 6. I mean, I just missed all the edge wear, apparently. I think a lot of people like to claim, PSA damaged my card, PSA did this, PSA did... I think it's a higher chance that you just sent damaged cards than PSA actually damaged your cards. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but on average, it's pretty common. It's usually the submitter's fault. Okay, this is off-center, top, bottom. Maybe a bit of edge wear. I think an 8 on this is probably a bit extreme considering it's so nice condition, but it's whatever. Mount Moon, I really like it because it's just a nice It's a nice trainer card. I was just hoping to get at least one in PSA 10. I'll put it up and I'll satisfy any Mount Moon collectors, but they will not be satisfied today. This is kind of like a total loss card. I'll probably list this for like $15 and just see if anyone wants a PSA card for themselves. Drowsy. PSA 8. Wow. PSA 8, I guess. I mean, I don't really see anything wrong with this card. It's quite hot today, so my fingers are leaving like imprints. It might be a slight bend in it. Oh, it's so hard to tell through the case. Might be a very slight bend, but I feel like he just gave 8 to like every Flight of Legends cards I sent. A bit of edge wear at the top. Yeah, that's justified. That's not mid. Oh my god. Whoopsie daisies. Got the Lightning deck. Eevee. Tiny bit of scuffs at the top there. Is this light showing correctly? There we go. Tiny bit of line. Oh yeah. I feel like I've had many 10s that are worse, but you know, that's how it is. So we've got the Sunny Cast Form from actual Holland research. Bit edge at the top. It's crazy how much more you see damage on cards after you submit them rather than before. Got a Talo, Clash of Blue Sky, mint 9. Bit of edge at the top there. Edge at the bottom. See how the justified grade pile is growing quite a bit. So we've got the Metapod. This corner at the bottom left here is quite bad, but I don't really agree with this being an 8. This card's a little bit... I don't think so. No, that is just... I don't think that's an 8. So we've got the Slack Off, Clash of Blue Sky. Very tiny, unseeable dots at the top, to be honest. We've got a bit here, but you just angle it just a little bit and it's gone, so... Maybe this... Oh, maybe... Yeah, I guess that's justified with a few dots. We got the Flight of Legends Ghastly. Okay, yeah, pretty bad at the top there. This is actually really bad for a 9. Oh, this is the 10. Mirage Forest. We'll see if we can... Ugh, too many cats. I mean, you know, I'm saying other cards are justified because they have edge wear, but then we got the 10 here that has all this wear. I don't even think this is edge wear. This is just like the card being cut, and you're just seeing the bottom of the card. Like I feel like edge wear has a few different. It's when it goes like into the card, and this is just like if you angle like any card, you'll see the card being cut sort of thing. But yeah, that is a PSA 10. I guess I have to put it in the justified. So we have a Cloister here from the Venusaur Charizard Blastoise deck. And it is overall... Any dents or creases or anything? Does not seem like it. No, nothing. Wow. I mean, a bit of edge wear up the left. Let me just double check. I know this video is going to go for a long time. I doubt anyone's going to be watching. I know the focus drops in and out, and I'm really sorry. I don't have a proper camera. I cannot afford that crazy camera gear, but maybe one day. I don't see how that's a 7, to be honest. I just really don't. Maybe there is a bend, and I'm just not seeing it. Probably like on the left and right. It's really hard to see. So we got the Hypno 6 bit of wear all through the card. At the top there, is that corner bent? Or is it just my thumb? Okay, I think we can see it there. You can see that line indent? Let me see if I can zoom in. You can see there, just above the P in Pokemon, there's an indent, and just to the left of it, I keep trying to focus for you, there is an indent as well, so... Yeah, I mean, indents, auto 6. Another one, I feel like one of the only times I have received such crazy grades. It's like all in one submission. So I'm not trying to say like I got destroyed by PSA, but I feel like on average this submission the cards are not that much different condition to all the other submissions I send. So it's either I got really lucky like every other submission, or I managed to send every bad card I had in one submission. I didn't see nothing wrong with that. You know, I'm not going to crack and regrade any of these because it's like I've already graded them once. It's not really worth it, but so it looks like this has like a... Come on. Focus for me. You see there? Just to the left of the P and kind of on the P a little bit. It's really hard to show you, but there is an indent just to the tip of the light. It's very, very tiny. Maybe that's still an 8, to be honest. There could be something else on here, but that's all I really see. I mean, I think it's justified, but damn, does it not feel harsh? You know what I mean? It's just, yeah. So I got 9 on the Mankey. Tiny bit of edge right there on the bottom. No, I feel like that's perfectly fine. So this is the other 10 in the submission. The Lombre, so yeah, there is some dots at the top here. Nothing else really. But I feel like that's well within the parameters of like PSA 10's gem mid. It's not like... Then we got another Shelder from the VBC starter deck. Maybe I just shouldn't grade any of these cards. Maybe they like... I think this deck might have been like a little bit dirty. And the surfaces of the card were just like really bad. Like I think you can kind of see it. They just like... Oh, it's hard to explain, but like sometimes the surface of the card is like really cloudy. So there could be like a layer of dirt / dust. You can see here, tip of my finger, there's a little bit of dust like stuck onto it. So this card might just be like really dirty, dusty, murky sort of thing. I don't know. It's really hard to explain, but if you have one in person, you can kind of see, like just there it showed it actually. You can see that it's kind of like maybe dirty on the front here. You see another piece top of my finger. And maybe the grader knocked down for that, because otherwise this card has extremely little amounts of edge wear. So just like a little bit bottom left and a little bit bottom right. A 6 is a little bit too low. But maybe because of the dirty, dusty, murky feeling of the card. That can happen when the cards are like stuck on top of each other inside a deck for a long period of time. Due to humidity and all this other stuff. So we got a bit of edge wear at the top left. Nothing more than the 10 I got, so I think that's probably a bit too harsh. Electric. Same sort of thing, but yeah, I don't know. That's just not really within par of like a bunch of other 10s that I have got, so I'm just trying to match them up to 10s that I've already received, even in the same submission. Oh, we have another one of these VBC starter decks. So that might be it, what's wrong with these cards. I mean, it could be good for me to crack these out to really have a look, but, you know, from what I can tell, there is no creases. Oh, what is this? This one might actually just be straight up bad. See right in the middle there, you can see the dent. So yeah, I'll admit defeat on this one. Dent's right in the middle. Maybe I'll check that other card. Maybe there's a dent right in the middle there and I just missed it. No, I didn't miss it. There's nothing. Alright. Unjustified stag. We'll zoom out. I hope this camera doesn't like flip around accidentally while I'm like zooming in and zooming out. God, you'd see just like my face. Like so close. It would be so bizarre. Alright, so Primate 9. Just maybe off-centered. Top to bottom. And yeah, I guess justified. Ooh, Flight of Legends again with an 8. It looks like it has a little bit of a... See that right there? Tip of my finger. Just a bit of, like a little dent and a bit of edge wear. Wow, when you turn the card, you can just see all the edge wear so close. Hello, I'm Cubone. So 8, justified. It's got a little dent. I need to do. When I submitted these, you know, I was extremely busy, frustrated. You know, my brain was like running on zero. And towards the end, I'm getting some cards in that I sent last. I'm getting them back before the cards are sent in first, like 3 weeks, 4 weeks prior. So it's not all like, it's not really. I probably could have waited to get some cards back to see how they graded, but yeah, maybe some cards I had were in much worse condition than I thought, and maybe I checked them when I was tired, or I checked them in the dark, and I'm sending cards in that were just bad. So that had a bunch of edge wear. So many of these little squares in the PSA slab. It's so ugly. Overall, I mean, this card, we can only see the edge wear because I'm going super up close with like a camera that's like high definition. The moment you look at this in person, that stuff, like with my eye, I cannot see this kind of stuff. So maybe I need to use like jeweler's loops more often, but I don't even think PSA uses jeweler's loops until it's like a very rare card or an expensive card. I feel like they just like eyeball it. I do not, unless this guy who graded these, maybe it's like a CGC grader that's gone to work for PSA. Oh, I mean the very last card, Ghastly, PSA 8. It's very hard to find things that like don't exist. This card is really, like the slab is already so scratched. Overall, I don't really see much. Tiny bit of edge wear there, but that's just like on all our PSA 10s we had that same thing. Maybe this bottom left. Maybe I need to look through my Flight of Legends bulk again, but there we go. So it looks like we got 8 cards that I'm not really too happy with the grade, but you know, even if they move up by 1 or 2, it's a 6. You know, I messed up, and we probably got like 25 or something. You know, 25 or whatever, not justified. We still have to go through all these cards. I'll videotape them. That should be quite fun, to be honest. I really enjoy looking at the cards, especially like looking at them on camera and like documenting it and then going back and looking at it. It's actually quite a fun experience for me. So if you're still listening, let me know. Say Venusaur is the best. Otherwise, have a great day.